coming to the stage, this guy's awesome. I love this guy. The great Michael Style, everybody.
Oh, y'all. When Angela looked at me across the bar and asked me if I wanted to play a game, my breath kind of caught in my throat a little bit, and I got a little freaked out. She'd been acting weird all night, but I could tell this was like a weighted question. I needed to take this seriously. Would never have thought that this would lead to me having to change my name and moving across the country. Yeah, it's one of those stories. I met Angela when I was working at Founders Brewing Company back in Michigan behind the bar. It was busy as hell one night, like 300 people just in my area, and I was running my ass ragged, and I turned around and I saw the most beautiful woman I've ever seen in my entire life. I have to say that again, the most beautiful woman I have ever seen in my entire life. Hit on every single point in my book, just statuesque, standing like kind of cocky, like Lilu orange hair and the complexion to like carry it off. She had a ring in her nose, which I hate, but looked amazing on her. Sapere Aude tattooed across both wrists, which is like Latin for dare to understand or dare to know. And she's staring at me with this grin. It wasn't like an amused grin. It was the cat sizing up the canary for lunch grin. And it just got me. There was like 20 other people who need beers. Didn't fucking care. It's like, whoop, how you doing? Said, hey, how you doing? She said, not bad. I'm thirsty though. I was like, sweet, what can I get you? She said, well, I need a beer. I've been drinking scotch all day though, so I'm not really sure what I should follow that up with. And I was like, awesome, I love scotch. What were you drinking? And she said, I was drinking Lefroy 10-year. Really like the Isla smoky, like peaty, funky, like scotches. Prefer Ardbeg, but Lefroy does in a pinch. And I said, hi, my name is Michael Wilcox. What is your name? Long story short, 10 minutes later, she walked away with a free beer and left one of her cards. We started hanging out a month later, started dating exclusively a month after that. And 2 months later, I was more in love than I'd ever been with anyone else. I don't know if you've ever been in a situation where every day you are more in love. You're like, I could never be. It's cheesy as hell, but like every day I woke up and I looked at this person, I was like, oh my God. And you could tell it was reciprocal, which was a little freaky. So we're driving to the orchard one day, because that's what us Midwest motherfuckers do. And we're gonna go get pumpkins, and we're talking about how fast we fell for each other, and we're saying I love you already. We've only been dating 2 months, and she asked me what I thought about it. And I said, Angela, what I think about it is I would marry you right now in this car. No questions asked. Wouldn't think anything of it, and I would be ecstatic. And as the words left my mouth, I realized I meant them. And when I looked at her and I saw she had a look on her face I'd never seen before, which was still her kind of shit-eating grin, but now it was like with an appraising look in her eyes, my heart just, and I realized I was gonna ask her like tomorrow, the very next day. We had an awesome time at the orchard. I was very sly, kept myself very calm, except for one time when I got on a chair and was like, is anyone here a minister or a sea captain? Anybody, because I have a job for it. Because they can marry people. All right. Dropped her off. The very next day I left, went to a buddy of ours who had a jewelry store, talked to him about the ring I wanted, got that ball rolling, went to work and waited for her to show up, and she didn't. And she was kind of avoiding my text messages, and I didn't see her all that day. I was like, oh shit. She did show up the next day, and she was acting weird, and when she got up to leave, normally I'd walk into her car and we'd just like maul each other in the parking lot, and then I'd go back to work. I could tell she was, something was weird. I said, all right, babe, I'll see you later. She said, yeah, before I go, I just want to ask you a question. I said, what? She's like, do you want to play a game? Okay, sure, let's play a game. What is this? She reaches in her pocket, she pulls out a little leather pouch. She sets it on the bar. The rules of the game are as follows. She would give me, from time to time, something to put in my pouch from her pouch. I wasn't allowed to look at that thing, wasn't allowed to look in the pouch, wasn't allowed to ask her for another thing to put in my pouch or ask her anything else about this game whatsoever. And I said, this is really weird. I'm in. Let's do this. All right. And the whole time, I'm like trying to call Steve. I'm like, dude, what's up with the ring? He's like, oh, don't worry about it. You gotta wait on these things. I'm getting very nervous. And we're playing this game and actually having an amazing week. You know, this became totally normal. We'd be having a good time. She'd take something out of her pouch and be like, there you go. And I'd be like, yes, my prize. Yes, awesome. Thank you. Finally, about a week into this, it was Saturday afternoon. We'd just been absolutely going to town on each other for about 4 hours straight. It was awesome. She said, that was great. Go get your pouch. I was like, yeah, all right. Got up, got my pouch. She gave me something to put in there, and I went to put it away. She's like, no, game's over. I was like, what are you talking about? She's like, shake out the pouch. So I shook it out, and all these little tiles fell out, and I looked at her, and she's about starting, like getting ready to cry, and I fell even more in love with her. This is what happened. I'm not slick. She figured me out immediately, and she called our friend and told him that he needed to stall me when I came in looking for a ring. And he did a really damn good job of that. And she put this game together, strung me along for an entire week, and then we're laying there and I'm looking at these tiles. There's 15 of them. 14 have letters. One has a question mark. And I have a Jewish grandmother, so I'm really good at Scrabble, so I could tell what it said. And I looked at her and I said, babe, I can tell what this says. It says, will you marry me? And the answer is obviously yes. And she burst into tears. I burst into tears. And she gave me this ring. And a month after that, we moved in together. 8 months after that, we went to Burning Man, got married. Since she asked me on the first date and is the one who proposed, I'm basically the bride, so I took her name, so I had to change my name. Yeah, about a year and a half ago, we moved across the country from Michigan here to New York, and we're still here. So this woman took my proposal, turned it into a contest, and fucking beat me. But I won, just saying.
So wait one more time for Mike.